Rugby School Thailand is cherished by our whole community. It is not something that rests solely within the English or language departments, but something that is relevant and fundamentally important to all of our subjects and teachers. Our teachers play a vital role in promoting reading across the curriculum, acting as reading role models to our pupils. Reading role models are so important for children. They help them to view reading as something exciting to look forward to and to enjoy. They help create positive reading habits and culture across the school. Here are some of our teachers from across the prep school explaining what they love about reading and why it's important to them.
Reading is all about learning and understanding. It's a good piece of writing will tell you something about society or about you as a human, and that's where the real value comes from.
You can just read and imagine how the things are, or you can learn about people's point of view. You can learn about, basically about humans in general and about the world.
I absolutely love reading. It's one of my favourite pastimes, and it really helps me to relax and unwind after a busy day.
I like reading generally because I find it really, really relaxing. It's quite nice after a stressful day and a very busy day to wind down with a book and escape the real world into a world of fiction.
For me, reading is like my meditation. If I read, I notice that I am calmer in my day, I can focus better, I sleep better, so I make sure I read every single day. I love fiction more than anything.
I am very lucky because my brother gave me as a present an ebook, which I think is a very good idea, because if I'm traveling all the time, if I go back to my country or if I go on holidays, I don't need to pack like big books. I can just...
The thing I love most about reading is the fact that you can go anywhere when you read a book, especially during the pandemic when we haven't been able to travel the world. We've been able to do it through looking at books.
This is the book I'm currently reading. It is the second one from Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. I read the first one while I was in quarantine and I absolutely love it. This is a fantasy book, so fantastic things happen there. The characters use metals to get special powers. Mind-blowing.
One of the books that I've recently finished is The Ichabog, and it's written by J.K. Rowling, and this is a beautiful hard copy here that I've borrowed. The Ichabog is about some sort of scary, magical, mysterious creature and some of the very funny and strange characters that go chasing after it.
I am reading a book called Imperium by Robert Harris, which is the first in a trilogy, so a group of 3 books about a man called Cicero who lived in ancient Rome 2,000 years ago. And I'm loving reading about what happened in his time.
And one of my favorite books, nonfiction, is called Born to Run by someone called Christopher McDougall. And this book is about a guy who's a really good runner, but he ended up hating running because he was always injured and always tired and in pain. And he discovered this secret tribe, and he studied this tribe and learned that they run because they love running.
I'm reading Augie and Me, The 3 Wonder Stories by R.J. Palacio, because it's a sequel to the book we have in our library, Wonder. Wonder is about a boy who has a disfigurement and how he deals with that. And the sequel has 3 characters in it and how they react to his disfigurement. So it's a really interesting story.
Oh, I'm just reading some Tintin. Used to enjoy them a lot when I was younger, and just catching up with them all again. I guess you could say they were a little bit dated. Perhaps not as many diverse characters as you'd find in books nowadays, but then they're a product of their time, like many books that we still enjoy.
Currently, I'm reading the 7th in a series of Shardlake novels by C.J. Sansom. This one is called Tombland, and is set in Tudor England, as they all are, in this one in Norfolk, during the rebellions that were happening at that time. Shardlake is a wonderfully engaging character, very much a flawed hero. He is a lawyer, but these are murder mysteries, and it becomes a whodunit. And the combination of the whodunit mystery and intrigue, along with the real interesting historical setting, makes them fascinating reading.
My favourite genre is science fiction fantasy. Absolutely love reading these things, Star Wars, Warhammer, any sort of fantasy sort of book I love reading.
My favourite book ever is called Birdsong by Sebastian Faulks. It's set in the First World War and it's a tale of courage, romance, drama, excitement. It gets you right in the soul. A fantastic read.
I love reading about historical things or historical settings.
I like to read travel books, any books really that are set abroad in different countries.
I really enjoy reading books by another author called Wilbur Smith. He writes books mainly about Africa, and there are lots of fun adventures which take place there and around the world as well.
My favourite book would be the trilogy by Philip Pullman, and it's called His Dark Materials. And it's a set of 3 books that follow the adventures of a young, determined girl called Lyra.
Short stories. I like short stories because I don't have a lot of time. And sometimes I pick up my very big book of 100 years of the best American short stories, and I read a story and it lifts me up and makes me happy. And that's why I love reading.